Hi. Since childhood, we attempt to develop our personality, and for that, we initiate to read lot of books, so-called self-help books, how to develop confidence, how to develop personality, how to develop your self-esteem. But all those books, since 1969, 70 till today, there are at least 1 million plus books, and all the other regional languages in Africa, in India, in Russian. All these books are reprinted, retranslated, but it seems that these books don't help the people. Why? Because if you buy one book, as the popular books we all have been reading, uh, how to develop this, how to develop that, how to develop, we go on buying at least 14, 15 books. And after reading 10 years, we're empty. And we cross the age 30. And we think that we know how to do the things, and our life continues as it is. We are always hungry, we are always looking for the things to fulfill our desires which never get fulfilled. And for that, we again buy the books. We again, in a recent years, since last 10 years, we go on searching for the YouTube, and that's all. We talk to the friends. The basic premise, the those books or those authors didn't address is the individual. As the title of this video is how to develop your personality, this video is from the perspective of a psychologist, counselor, and psychotherapist. There are only three things which are necessary to be addressed and to be taken care of. Since, as someday we might have born, say 1901, and you are 23 now, or you are 71, or 90, or 2001, whatever may be. They are the phases in the life. 1 to 5, 6, 8 years, then 12 years, 16 years, then 23, 24, 28, 29. Up to the age 25, 30, we tend to read all these books, and but all these things doesn't help. It doesn't help in our study, our marks, our relation with the mother, father, our relation with the peers, with our girlfriend, boyfriends, our jobs, money, nothing. Accidentally, you may earn a lot of money. Accidentally, you may get into a good job. Accidentally, you may have a good career, but you are not happy because once you have that, again you are doing the same thing what you have been doing 20, 30 years before. So according to psychological perspective, counselor's perspective, and psychotherapy perspective, there are the only three components in an individual which is to be taken care of, which is to be known, and which is to be developed. If we know those three components, we develop it, and we go on expanding that, your personality automatically get developed, your language automatically get changed, your body language automatically changes, you get yourself into a group where there is a likelihood that you will get a result. So what are those components? See, one of the things which we know but we don't know is that we, all the people in this whole of the planet, has our individual private universe which is in our mind, and we talk to this mind, this universe, through certain energy systems of our body. To those energy systems, psychologist has given a word. Those words are three only words are there. First is the your private universe. Second is your private fantasy. And third is your private goals. These are the only three things which is driving you to live on this planet, These are the only three things which is driving you to select your career, your mate, your the area where you will live, your car, your bank balance, the type of money you are earning, the way you are wearing the clothes, whether you are going for the fashion fad or whatever may be, and everything else. So you will ask them why we didn't know it, because it is open secret. I will tell you one simple thing which you might have seen. You might have seen a lot of Miss Universe, Miss India, Miss Sri Lanka, Miss Brazil, or your world leaders, your country's president, prime minister, or your hero or your heroines, or your actors, or your cricketers. If you might have seen, one of the common factor is they themselves qualify themselves to get into the system. For example, cricket or actress or a female who want to be a, we will take a to simplify, we will take one example. We will take a one candidate who is running for the election. He get elected, and say he get elected for governor of a state or president of a country. You might have seen after 6 months of his election and getting into his office, his whole language of talking, the way he presents himself, his body language, the way he eats, the way he walks, and his expressing the concepts, the ideas, and everything changes. So what happens? We say no, normally in all everywhere it is a habit of saying that this system is bad, this system is wrong, this is whatever name you want to give. But what happens to a girl enters into get into a Miss Universe and she is groomed. A cricketer, he qualifies into as a local clubs. When he's selected for the national team and something, and he plays, and we see that everything changes. The way he talks, the way their family talks, the way people respond to them, everything. So they are groomed. How they are groomed? Where they go? So there are bodies or organizations who specializes into applied psychology. Respective organization, governments, and those they select them. They say, okay, this is the fellow, this is the task. Say this is the head of the state, so you groom him. This is the Miss Sri Lanka, Miss Brazil, Miss China. Now groom her. And you might have noticed once they got in Miss India, Miss Venezuela, or President of US or Indian Prime Minister or something, once the grooming period is over, they are permanently of different personality. They get re-elected again and again with ever increasing ascent. Those who are get into a Miss Universe or something or a Miss country of that, they go on getting new ads, new movies, everyone. Cricketers go on ascending, I see everywhere ascending. But we all the common people, we do everything and no. So these counselors, there are a group of applied psychologists, they addresses these three things. So what they do is that they get into the universe of a fellow. Then they get into their private fantasy. And then they get into a private goal. And they segregate all those components and they work it. They tell to those individual clients, this is what you are made of and this is how it should be and this what is you should be doing. It takes a minimum 6 months. But since they are selected, elected and everything, they are at very fast pace in learning. And a very important, how to develop a personality to absorb the what is becoming up now. You should be teachable. We always have a habit of when we listen to something, we read, if we are talking to a friend, 50% we say, I know it, I know it, I know it, I know it. The moment you say that I know it now, your level of teachability comes down, 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 down for any subject. See, if you are watching a YouTube for certain things, there are a lot of people like me who has been talking about, but not as in a professional way. And they might be using, this I know, this I know, this I know. Before you start learning, your teachability level, your absorption level goes down. As you, at least you go on seeing at least 100, 200, 500 hours of video, 6, 8, 9, 6, 8 months and so. What happens best is your traveling time gets comfortable. And late night you might not be sleeping well. And so we will address these three issues. This is a very vast topic. To teach each and everything, it at least take 4 to 5 hours lesson on each topic, and there are works to be done. So this is a very introduction video. I will be going into detail of these three aspects. So after attending to this video, you will come to know what you are made of, what are your templates, what are your building blocks. The moment you come to know about your building blocks, you start yourself changing. And since the good thing is that now the internet and all the resources are there, you will go and searching on all those things. One of the best thing to search on internet about what has been coming into following this coming this in this video is, go to the Google Scholar. There are certain words which I have, technical words which I have been using. Put those words into a Google Scholar search engine. There are lot of papers are there. Those are authentic papers. I have been studying those papers and I am professing counseling psychotherapy. This is a very long time, around 15-20 years. So I know what I am talking about, and your time won't go waste. So first is your private universe. Your private universe is first, there is automatically it is made, and then you consciously put an element into it. Automatically it is made up to the age of 3 to 4 years from the day you are born, 0 to 4 to 5 years, 6 years maximum. After 6, 7 years, up to the 10, 12 years, you add goals into your private universe. So whole private universe is there. Then you put a goal into it. The fundamental goal which everyone must have is the to survive. It sounds very Darwinian, but it is a fact. See, if you are, say you are MBA, you are some president, you are going for election, you are selecting some cloth, a Black Friday sale or something, you go and run what you are doing. I want to win. I want to win means what you want to survive. Survive means quality of thing which you have given. Quality 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All brandings, all the brands which we buy is the your, if you say shoes cost $1, this shoes cost $500. What you are going to do? Some will buy $2, $4. Most of them want to $500. So this is the survival value. So it is for everything: type of food, clothing, housing, car, career, mate, your furniture, everything. The way you relax, the type of television you buy, whether you go for PS2, 3, 4, 5, 6, IMAX. So we install a goal in our own heads. 80-90% of the energy behind these goals is not known to us. But objective form of those goals are known to us. So that's why we say, I will buy an aeroplane, I will buy a Mercedes, I will buy this, I will get married to this fellow. My mate should like look like this. I should have this much of tax. I should have uh, this brand of watch. I should have this. I should have that. I should have this implant of hair. I should have my nose changed. All these are the goals. These goals are impeded into your universe. Now, goal, and this is the whole universe. Your private universe, your private goals. Why you select certain things in your goals, you don't know. More internal of it is comes is your private fantasy. Your private fantasy is simple thing which I would like to tell you. We all have encountered our near dear fellows. We say, ah, I didn't know he will behave like that because oh he cheated me. Oh, things you got, those are always an opposite. It's always right. Example, you are appearing for uh, A plus exam and you got say 60% and your goal was 80%. When you are in around age of say 25, you went for interview and you expected around say $50,000 per annum, but you accepted on 27. Example, or you went to buy some commodity, a mall, and you have budget for that $100, but you change it to say no, no, it's not so important. I will buy it $60. All this where goals means where you intend to do certain things and you compromised and you carried your life. So two aspects are finished. Your universe, your goals. Now your fantasy. Fantasy is all the pure emotions which you experience in all these two steps. This fantasy, the energy into this fantasy is driving you here and now. This energy into this fantasy made you type certain words and you are allowing yourself to see this. So there are components of this private fantasy. Private fantasy is the idealistic goal we have set for ourselves and we try to achieve it. How my boss should be, how my in-law should be, how my maid should be, how my pencil should be, how my shoes should be, how my car should be. And these private fantasy, they are relatively in constant state. Suppose your private fantasy has four shapes: shape A, shape B, shape C, and shape D. It will either enlarge, diminish, or slightly expand something, but it will not never go because they are formed, they are crystallized. That's why if you are earning a millions of dollars every year, you will always till you are not going to die. You will always going to get richer and richer and richer and richer and richer and richer. And richer. Even though you want to stop, you cannot stop. If you are author, you are writing the book, you might have written a 10, 20, 30, 40. You will continuously go on writing the books and books and books and books and books and books. If people are not liking you or you are critical about certain things, you will always criticize. Why? Because this blocks it. They are even though those blocks are never going to vanish. But importantly, what can we do is we can allow it to function in different way. This is called either in psychology, one of the very commonest form of transformation is called sublimation. For example, India's father of nation, the way he was in, so he has written this in autobiography. Martin Luther King, sublimation has happened, and a lot of world leaders, scientists, doing one thing, doing something opposite to what it was there before, using this energy to do that. But most of these guys have gone through very bad times physically and mentally also, because the transition was not convincing for them. It was the transition was to protect themselves from the offensiveness of the environment. We are the common people. We want to die very peaceful, healthily, lovingly, with the people around, with a lot of money, and with the an intention that whatever our so-called private things are there after us should not get open into or known by near dear ones. It should remain private. And 99.99% it remains. But in modern era, it doesn't, because the applied psychologist uses multimedia, YouTube, tutor, and all those things to learn about you. So you should be very cautious about what you are searching, what your friends are subscribing to you. So I have told you how to develop your personality. Your personality is not what you wear, how you talk, how you grow, nothing. It is important. It's a social part of the personality. I'm talking of your internal being. One of the simple thing is that how to develop your personality is important, because one of the commonest thing is that we have seen, except few exceptions, we have seen lottery. A common person, or anyway, wherever he is, he gets lottery jackpot. A very young boy suddenly get into the movie, become very hero. If you see him after 15, 20 years, he's again back, more than where he was. They're bankrupt psychologically, emotionally, no family, nothing. So why this happens is, I will give you one example. This thing happened not because of their private universe, not because of their private goals, because of their private fantasy. One of the important component of the private fantasy is the private logic. They got a lot of money, but they didn't had a private logic how to manage it. They are using the same old logic when they were here to manage what they got. That's why everything goes off. That's why we always go on getting sick. That's why always there is a seasonal disorders everyone, because there are private logic. Because we haven't taken an effort to get ourselves healed. We go to the doctor, we take the medicine, we don't work on the private logic. So this is a very long video. So all these three things, and each thing, these three things, private universe, private goals, and private logic, has certain components into it, which is to be talked about. But even though what I have been told is make a film of your life, see the common themes of it, goals are there, and importantly, what are the fantasies, whether those things are fulfilling your fantasies or not. These are the, even though you come to know about these fundamental things, you are very sharp enough to process on all those things. And once you come to know about those technical terms and start punching into a Google Scholar, you will have a lot of good materials to read it, because everything cannot be covered into a one single video. Uh, Thank you and welcome to Nova Psychology. This is Dr. Harshad Bobde. I am a counselor and psychotherapist. I am a medical physician since 2021 years. Subscribe. Thanks.